everyone, thank you for joining me. Today I want to show you what effects you can get with a very limited palette. And I have this little sketch of a fox here and I just want to add a little bit of color. And the way I will do this is I will first add the shadow to this sketch, and for this, as you can see, I do not have any darks or neutrals in my small palette. I will pick up some ultramarine, put it into my mixing area. By the way, you could easily mix in this little mixing area here. I'm just doing this on my ceramic palette for convenience. I will mix my ultramarine and my transparent sienna, and this will give a very nice dark neutral tone. So this is a great trick to mix neutrals. Another way to get interesting darks is to take other complementary colors like this quinacridone pink here in this palette, and then the phthalo green. And as you can see, this will give another very nice dark gray. And if I add more green to the mix, then it will become even more of a neutral gray. So these are two possibilities for mixing neutrals. In this sketch, I will go with the ultramarine transparent sienna mix and just add a little splash of color here in the shadows and in the legs. And I will keep the paint layer fairly thin and fairly dry, because this isn't watercolor paper, this is tone paper. I've actually never painted on this, so we'll find out in this video if this is a good idea or not. So sometimes you can get away with painting on drawing paper if you keep your paint layer really thin and really not as watery. Just want to define the legs here for a little bit. And as you can see, my mix already separates a little bit, so it returns to the two colors that it's made of. I will simply add a little bit more. Now for the head and the eyes. This is usually the most delicate area, so I'm going to be very careful with that. And now I will add a little bit of my quinacridone gold for the darker areas in the pelt. So this is actually a beautiful fox color, I think. So I will not mix it with anything else, and I will just add this red here, this yellowish red, in the areas where I can see a really dark reddish color. So not all areas of the fur are in the same dark red. Some are more of a light brown, and I will leave them in the color of the paper actually. As for the white areas on the breast, I will just add a tiny bit of white gouache. So I'll put that here. And I actually have another little palette with my gouache paints, so I will pick that up from there and then just add a little bit around the snout and on the breast. You can see the quinacridone gold hasn't dried yet completely, so it starts to mingle with the white. And now I have to say I find the area around my fox has too little contrast, so I will add a little bit of white around the top here so that I can see the shape better. And this doesn't have to be a lot. Just so that I will have a little bit more contrast. Do you see how these midtones with the color of the paper now pop off the page? So these are just some little tricks to make your sketches look more interesting. So that's our little demonstration. If you're interested what other things you can do with such a limited palette and how you can set up a custom watercolor palette and which colors you should choose, then head over to my new class. I will leave a link in the info box. And yeah, I actually have a new class about setting up your own custom watercolor palette. So be sure to check this out. In any case, thank you for joining me. Please subscribe if you found this video useful, and let me know in the comments what your watercolor palette looks like, how many colors you have and which ones you chose. So yeah, I'm curious to know. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.